Hi, I'm Tom from Flair. Today I'll be speaking to Harald Mayer from Hutte. Hutte is a Salesforce ISV that makes it easier to develop and ship products on Salesforce. In this video, I'll be asking Harald about the challenges and benefits of having a fully remote team. We'll also discuss company culture, recruitment in the tech industry, and the advantages of managing HR data on Salesforce. Okay, so Harald, could you introduce your company Hutte to us and explain what it is that you do and what your role within the company is?
Sure. So I'm the founder of Hutte. I have my professional background in Salesforce in the past years. Our mission at Hutte is to enable teams who develop and ship on the Salesforce platform to do so efficiently. The Salesforce platform is absolutely great for delivering, developing quickly. It provides unique no-code tools. However, there are some gaps in application lifecycle management. So getting work done can be easy, but getting it properly promoted to a testing environment, integrated or shipped to production can be quite challenging. And this is where Hutte comes to the rescue.
And what sets you apart from your competitors, or are there any other companies doing what you're doing?
Yes, we are not alone in that field. So there are on the very top enterprise end of Salesforce DevOps, you have huge companies like and very successful players like Copado or Gearset. And then on the other end, you have free toolings. There are also some open source initiatives and tools which can be great. Hutte, however, is positioned in the middle, so it's not as prohibitive in pricing for medium-sized teams or projects as the top-end enterprise players and less complex to implement. However, comes with many advantages to open source solutions, since it is well supported, operated, provided as a software as a service with great support, great documentation, and provides an excellent user experience. So a beautiful UI, which is really optimized for usability.
So, how would you describe the company culture at Hutte?
So first of all, we are a remote company, which of course, brings a certain culture. It means that you heavily rely on SaaS tools for efficient communication. You probably attract and hire a specific type of employees who are open to remote only work, which of course requires a lot of self-motivation, let's say, and willingness to work independently. Being a remote first company is still, I would say, not the norm, but a decision we have made well informed and consciously, and which we love and live in our company culture.
So, being a remote first company has some benefits. So, it can be an attractive kind of thing for a lot of people looking for jobs. But surely it also comes with some challenges. Could you talk us through some of those?
Yeah, sure. So first, probably briefly on the advantages for us, the main advantage is definitely access to talent, being able to recruit for very specific talent, and by not being bound to certain hiring locations, we obviously have a huge advantage in the recruiting. When it comes to challenges, creating a certain sense of a common mission, a true team spirit, that is challenging, but that's definitely possible, as I think we prove in our team.
Obviously, we're also a remote company. So, I was just wondering, how do you at Hutte create like a sense of belonging to the team? So, do you have like some team events where you meet up in person? Do you have like workation things where you all meet up, or?
Yeah, we actually do a mix of both. So we try to get together as a team physically twice a year. We have recently started setting those get-togethers around Salesforce community events. So it's a great opportunity to first get together, do some work together. So at our last meeting, for example, we combined it with a product hackathon. So we spent 2 days together working on a defined challenge, and then using this opportunity to visit a Salesforce community event, spend a day at a conference. It was the so-called Czech Dreaming event. And all in all, yeah, it was a great combination of team building, achieving something valuable for our product, and tapping into the Salesforce community, making contacts and getting inputs and learning from that conference. So that is probably something we will continue in the future. But yeah, I think those physically face-to-face meetings are important, of course, and also well valued by the team.
So you mentioned earlier on the topic of talent acquisition, being a remote company can help you to access a wider pool of talent. Do you think it's generally hard in today's environment to find talented tech employees as a tech company, or how do you attempt to stand out against the competition in that respect?
It definitely is. It's no secret that hiring developers, let's say, or tech staff in general has been very competitive in the past years. Companies went up and beyond to attract talent. And yeah, so it definitely is challenging. What we do to stand out, I think, is really by the culture that we promote and live at the company, which comes with giving everyone the opportunity to have a true impact on, let's say, the product or whatever field the person is working in, to shape, participate in shaping the processes. So I'm not sure if democratic is the right word, probably not, but we do have, in fact, a lot of discussions on the direction, on strategy, on concrete features, where every voice is heard. And I think that attracts a certain cohort of people. And that is something that probably you only can offer as an early stage company or startup. As you become bigger, grow, and become more and more corporate, you will inevitably lose that spirit of really having everyone participating in the direction, or having the possibility to really shape and impact your product directly. So that's something that we really cultivate, and that I think helps us being an attractive employer that stands out.
So I guess one of the challenges of being a remote first company could be surrounded by HR. So a lot of companies then use an HR platform, some HR software, SaaS tools, for example, to manage their people. For you, what would be your expectations of HR software in terms of managing a remote team?
In general, I would say one of my learnings is that choosing software tools that are made by like-minded teams can be a great move, no matter which category of software that is. And yeah, in terms of HR, of course, managing a stationary team differs from the challenges of managing a remote team. So what we expect from an HR solution is to be highly collaborative. So every process should work without a face-to-face communication or additional explication. So it's important to have built-in communication features, or basically having a chat at the hand where you need it. It needs to be definitely so. Working remote, I think, raises the bar when it comes to your expectation to usability. You would not typically spend a lot of time face-to-face onboarding as we know it. Definitely not possible in a remote culture, which means that you rely even heavier on quality digital tools that are welcoming, that are well designed, that have great usability, that are self-explaining, and that somehow are able to transport the spirit and the culture of the company.
So is onboarding one of the features of Flair that you are currently using?
Yes, definitely. So we actually start earlier. So already in the recruiting process, we heavily rely on Flair. That starts by basically placing our job description, drafting it already in Salesforce, so in Flair, then moving it to the career portal that is provided by Flair, so our career page where our job offerings are listed. And then basically we use it through the entire recruitment lifecycle, collaboratively, discussing candidates, communicating with candidates, moving them through the process, and eventually making a hire, which would then result in the onboarding as a next step. And that is a seamless process that is very well implemented in Flair.
And beyond onboarding, you also use Flair for some of your core HR functions, such as absence management, for example.
Yes, absolutely. So one of the key features to us is that the Employee Hub offers a usable self-service platform to our employees where they can accomplish their base interactions with HR, starting from maintaining their core records from their address and bank account and so on in self-service, to requesting absences and whatever typically HR processes are. And those are very well supported on both ends. So providing a very simple usable interface to the employee and a powerful platform in the background to the people that work on those HR processes.
Mm-hmm. And have you integrated Flair with any other tools? So I know a lot of remote teams use Slack, for example. Is that one of the integrations that you're using as well?
Absolutely. So we do indeed heavily rely on Slack for our internal communications. And that is also where Flair integrates very well. So me as a people manager, for example, my absent requests of my employees, I learn about those in Slack, and I can even do quick actions like approval right from Slack without leaving Slack, which is an excellent time saver.
Obviously, you mentioned earlier that you are a kind of Salesforce company as well. You're like part of that ecosystem. So does using an HR platform that is also built on Salesforce, does that also benefit your team?
Absolutely. We consider Salesforce as our company OS. That is where we bring a lot of information. So having an HR platform on Salesforce is kind of a no-brainer to us because it allows us to leverage our Salesforce knowledge to do integrations, to enhance processes and so on. And since HR is, of course, one of the core enterprise processes, that is a huge advantage to us.
And as the main HR user of Flair within Hutte, what would you say you enjoy most about working with Flair?
So I really enjoy the welcoming nature of it, so that we can somehow live our company culture through that tools by functionality like communication and cheers, and yeah, just having a well-designed and very usable lean HR platform just matches very well our objectives and our culture. There are some features I like, especially, for example, I think the org chart is very well done. I used to manage org charts in previous jobs with different tools, but I think what Flair produces out of the box is great. Yeah, beyond, let's say, core HR and recruitment, where we use Flair heavily, the goals management is something that we appreciate very much. Again, we have a very lean process. We are using OKRs, and those are closely or tightly coupled to employee goals. And with Flair, we find everything we need to track them efficiently and to build out a nice process of performance reviews and yeah, basically goals tracking.
So perhaps as the last question, would you recommend Flair to other companies in your industry?
Why I would recommend Flair to other companies is because I think it's a great companion from startup to enterprise. So it will actually grow with you. So while it perfectly serves our needs as a startup with a pretty lean HR management, I also have the full confidence that it will grow with us. So as we develop our organization, hire a lot of employees, grow our HR processes, Flair will be here to scale with us and offer the right functionality at the right time.
Yeah, so thank you for talking to us today, Harald. And yeah, I hope you continue to enjoy using Flair.
Thank you very much for having me. Really enjoyed this conversation, and I'm really looking forward for what the next releases of Flair bring. And yeah, looking forward to our collaboration.
Cheers.